Okay, today is August the 9th, 2022. Okay, I just woke up from a dream not too long ago and I started to write it down, but I don't want to forget it. And anyway, um, I was wandering around through this building. Seemed like I was with one of my nieces, my youngest niece, and and maybe some other people. Yeah, I was with a lot of different people that I knew. Um, just people that I knew. I don't know. And we were just wandering around from place to place. And inside of a building, outside of a building, it was just kind of like life. But it was all in this one certain area. So anyway, um, I ran into this guy. And I semi kind of knew this guy. And like maybe we had some sort of a relationship in the past or something. Maybe not, but maybe. But anyway, he knew me and he had a girlfriend. And so he's in a relationship with some woman, and he says to me, don't you, it was like I liked him sometime in the past, long time ago. Matter of fact, he reminds me of somebody I knew from college. Back in the 80s or early 90s, or like 1990. And he said, matter of fact, yeah, 1989 or 1990. And he said, and I saw him again here in this dream. And he comes up to me and says, first he like tried to flirt with me or get my attention, and I just kept walking by him. And then he comes up to me and he says, don't you want to try to get me away from her? Don't you want to not try and get me away from her? And he said, don't you want to get me away from her? Or something like that. And I was like, no. And I kept walking. And I realized that he was like trying to play some type of mind game. And I'm going to write this down. This is too hard to read. I mean, this is too hard to remember like that, but I'll say these little parts to help me remember stuff. And it was like he was trying to play some kind of mind game with me, some kind of male-female mind game. And it works if you're immoral. What the guys do works on you if you're immoral, if you're unrealistic, if you're just he was thinking that I would be, he was just saying all that stuff to try to sleep with me by little triggers, like some kind of trigger inside a lot of women at some point in their lives, probably all women. If they're not walking very closely with God, then you would try to, why do women try to take or sleep with people's boyfriend or whatever? They try to prove that they're, to themselves, it's some kind of little silly contest, that they're better than that woman, that they're a better woman than her. And the guy was just going to play off of that to cheat on her and to get me to try to sleep with him, playing myself. Like, don't you want to try to prove you're better than her? But he didn't say it like that. But that was what he was trying to trigger in me. And when I didn't fall for it, then he just said it outright, but still kind of masking it. And I said, no. I said no so quick that it wasn't until after I was saying it and walking away from him that I even really realized what he was trying to do. And I still didn't even care because I just didn't want to waste time fooling with him and talking to him. So that's the game that men play and men talk about. And the game is just so that they could have a steady supply of clueless, silly women to sleep with. And they just got it down to a science. And why they say to each other, don't hate the player, hate the game. So, okay, so anyway, this is what I said later on in the dream. Like I said, I was wandering around from place to place with some different people. We were just wandering around, and then I realized we're doing nothing. This is a complete and total waste of time. It was just like we were just going from place to place with absolutely no purpose. And I just said to myself, why am I just going to keep going along with this? And I know this is just a complete waste of our time. Somebody is just holding us here, and we keep our mouth shut about it because of convention, because we just do what we're expected to do. And I said, why should I just watch all these people being deceived and going to hell and having no idea what's going on for real? And so I had talked to a couple people. Like I said, this was just like life or something. And I had talked to maybe like 3 or 4 different people throughout the time that I was in this place, which was a long time. And one guy, he was like a teacher, or he was teaching people, and he knew different things were lies. So there was maybe 3 or 4 people like that. And what I saw and noticed and knew was that once they realized that there was this one thing, that if they ever thought about that was a lie. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was the food, or I don't know what it was. But there was this one thing that if you ever questioned that, you became an instant skeptic, and all the lies would start to unravel for you. And you became what people would call woke. And when I noticed that, and I knew it was true, and I knew there was at least 3 or 4 people in there that I had already talked to, and I just wanted to, since all these people are being deceived anyway, and even the people that were woke, they didn't know Christ, but they just knew that our whole society was to varying degrees an entire total lie. They knew things to varying degrees, but it was like they were still just trying to be truthers, or somehow it still took a wrong turn and they didn't get all the way to the bottom of the truth. So I said, I said this to myself, since they just got us wandering around this place for absolutely no purpose, just doing what we're told to do, doing what we're expected to do, not wanting to make a scene, and just cooperating with our own destruction, and watching other people, even if you think you're saved, watching other people just go to hell rather than causing trouble. So I said to the people that were in this one building with us, it was like we were in Rome or something. And I said, something like, can I have everybody's attention, please? And everybody got quiet. And I said, is there anybody in here who would describe yourself as woke, as quote unquote woke? And then I said, let me see your hand and let me hear your voice. And so, and about 3-4 people said, I am. Over here, I would call, I'm awoke. And then I said, so what happens is when we discover that there's this big blaring lie, that something that you've been told is not true, and it's so fundamental to everything you believe. Like I said, I don't remember what that one thing was, but I'm pretty sure it was like one certain thing, and it could have possibly been a different thing for everybody, but I said, you discover that one lie and the skepticism that it causes in you just blows this whole system out of the water. And you realize that everything is a lie. And then I said, oh boy. I said, you try to tell people, and you know that it's just going to sound so crazy. They're not in any danger of believing you because it's going to sound so crazy. They know that if you try to tell anybody, they're not going to believe you. No one is going to believe you. But I just figured I have absolutely nothing to lose. So a bunch of people started coming in at that point. It was like people started gathering in to hear what I had to say. And then suddenly there was like 3 times as many people in this big open area where I was. And I said, just to fill anybody in who's coming in, we're talking about what you hear here and there every now and then about people being awoke. And I was going to try to tell them, don't think this is a conspiracy theory. When you hear about people criticizing, making a mockery of people being awoke, let me tell you what it is. And then at that moment, it seemed like some kind of authorities came in, because I never did anything like that before, and I never seen anybody do anything like that before. But I just figured it was the least I could try and do for my fellow man. And if we all did that, I don't know. I was going to say it could wake people up, but really it wouldn't, because like I said, no one's going to believe you. but it'll just be one person here and one person there. Anyway, so it seems like the authorities came in, and me and the little small group of people that I was with, we tried to run. It was like they were going to snatch us up and capture us for telling people this. And then they would turn around and tell the people we were crazy. And just make up some story to just keep everything going. So it seemed like me and the little small group of people I was with, we started trying to move toward the door because they started an uproar to capture us, to make it seem like we were starting a riot or we were doing something disruptive, illegal, or something. And then I realized the authorities, or whatever they tried to stir up, they didn't have enough police force to stop us or something. They were just trying to create an illusion that they were like a big SWAT team coming in to get us. But really, it was just like a little ripple that they made, hoping that we would respond by running. And when I realized that it wasn't anything, and there really wasn't anybody there in there to get us, I kept talking. And I also was fighting with the crowd not being attentive. It was like you just barely had their attention because they're so caught up with and captivated with the little busyness that they had set up for us there. How we just went around from place to place and did these things we were expected to do. And this was so ingrained in everybody that you just could just pull them out of the stupor of it and being engrossed in it and it being their whole lives. And they're so invested in it and think it's so great, just like life. Like buy a house, buy a car, get a girlfriend, wear the right car, be seen the right places, have the right things. And down to every little thing. I said, like I said, I didn't really just barely had anybody's attention. And I was just hoping to just break through to just one person, some people. And I was yelling just to be heard. Like how you try to cause your voice to carry over a large crowd. And they were kind of quiet, but you could tell that you were just at the very surface of people's awareness. Some people are listening more than others. And I said, I want you to know, and I'm going to read it because I wrote it down kind of. Everything, and as I looked out, at the same time people were kind of quiet and some people were listening, there were still people going about the businesses, going about the busyness, little children, everything. It was just like a microcosm of life in there. And I was saying, like, everything you see around you, everyone you see around you, everything. I said, everything you have ever been taught and told was done, everything around you, everything that you've ever been taught was done for one reason and one reason only. Even from the earliest time you ever went to school, every rule, everything was for one reason only, and that's to control your every thought, move, action from the cradle to the grave. That's what all of this exists for. Everything. Everything is one big lie And I was talking about everything from flat earth. And that was one of the things that could wake people up. But it was like it caused them to distrust the system and for all the lies to come unraveled very quickly when you realize for a fact that one of these huge, overarching, encompassing things that they've been telling us is a big lie. And it causes the whole system to fall apart for that person, and they become what people call woke. And I even wanted to talk to those few people too. Oh yeah, that's something else I said when I first got their attention. And I said, is anybody woke? I said, have you noticed that when you meet one of these other people that is woke, you have an instant camaraderie with them. You have instant love for them. And you could talk to them for hours. And it's like, you just met a long lost friend. And you know them and love them intimately, instantly. And people were like, yep, the few people that were in there that were awoke. But I wanted to take them farther to let them know that it's even deeper than you think. And this is all about spiritual things. It's all about good and evil. It's all about spiritual wickedness in high places and the battle that's going on for your soul. Forget society. Forget the monetary ways that they're trying to control us, the physical ways that they're trying to control us. Ultimately, behind the scenes of all of it is that Satan and fallen angels want all human beings to go to hell. And they want to hide God from you. And they want to hide the truth from you. And that's the things I was saying. And I wanted to get to. And to the people who just were clueless, I just wanted them to know that everything they were looking at, touching, and occupying themselves with, every system they operate in, is all like a movie set. It's just simply exists there to control them, and that I wanted to tell them we all need to step outside of it. It's not real. Just bust it. Just bust it with your mind. Know that and you bust it with your mind by knowing that it's not real and it's all lies. Everything that they've constructed, all the thoughts and things that they have us operating on, calling it truth, is not truth. None of it's true. They just built a bunch of theories for us. We operate on them as though they're true. Everything from everything. There's no even reason to mention anything because it's literally everything. School, theories of social classes, social economic spheres, ways that we classify and categorize ourselves, whether it's got to do with being pretty, being ugly, being rich, being smart, being this profession, that profession. None of it's necessary. None of it should exist. There's a whole nother paradigm that we are created, and internally we can be programmed to operate in, and it is more stable, makes more sense, and it operates perfectly with who and how we were designed to be and God. There is a harmonious way of being, but we're like bees in a beehive, not realizing that we're operating in an artificial world that doesn't even serve us, and that's just designed to get the honey out and leave us with not enough, and having us thinking that this is life and this is just the way it is, and we accept it and even do things like try to take advantage of it and become rich within it, like how guys farm out women, like ants farm out aphids. Okay, so that's basically the dream. Oh, and then when I woke up and I was still kind of like in that foggy, fuzzy state, I also knew that we were very close to the end of the world, and I just wanted to warn people. But in that foggy, fuzzy state, I was thinking that I wanted to tell people, if I was still back in that dream, I wanted to even tell them, stop taking your grandparents and parents to the hospital every time something happens to them. Stop it. All they're doing is keeping track of how close your loved one is to dying, so they can steal their property from you. They keep track of these people's hospital admissions and what's going on with people. I was so sure of this when I woke up, that they keep track of this stuff, and I know it's true. And this guy even said it on this real estate guy even said it, that they keep track of when people are sick and getting ready to die, because they know when it's at the end stage. Yeah, they're milking Medicaid, insurance companies, and all that stuff at the end of people's death to make money, because people refuse to keep their loved ones at home and take care of them. But you rather operate in this system where, no, I got to go to work. I got to work. I can't stay home and take care of her. When if you stop going to work, you could stay home and take care of her, because you don't need to go to work, because the whole system's fake anyway. They got us hopelessly dependent on something we don't even need. And not only do we work harder within the system, but just like the bees don't understand. They are making honey they're thinking they're making honey to store it up. And they don't even notice that every now and then some guy comes and takes the lid off the hive and takes all the honey and just leaves just enough for them to survive off of. And the bees are never any the wiser. So not only in this system, while you're going to work and doing all the things that you think you're supposed to do and your parents even taught you to do, you're working harder than you would if you just dropped out of it, stayed home and took care of yourself and your family. And all this, they want to know who's in the hospital. And they keep track of who's dying, so they can drain everything that you have, so you cannot leave it to your children. And they can steal your property, take it back from you. They don't even have to really steal it, because they got all kinds of mechanisms and systems set up in place to get it back. Everything from everything from inheritance tax to property taxes to filing wills, and everything you think you're doing to protect your stuff, because you can't trust your own family members to take care of you, to do what's right. We buy all this insurance, we get all these lawyers and drop all these papers, and all not realizing all those things are 1,000 little ways that they suck everything from us. Probate court, as they know that the children will fight each other over what the parents left. And all they got to do is sit back and wait, and through the systems that they set up, pick up the pieces until everybody's a renter. And then they really control us even the more. So I was going to tell them, stop taking your loved ones to these hospitals, because they're not doing anything but taking the rest of their money making them sicker, giving them bed sores, pumping them full of more toxic medicines, when you'd be better off taking care of your family at home. But instead, we pay big bucks to have our families mistreated in hospitals in the last part of their life so we can go to work. And while we're at work, we're not taking care of ourselves to guarantee that we'll end up in that same position with our children one day. And they got this all down to a science, and we fall for it every time. And every single person needs to get up and walk right out of this system. And even if you walk by yourself, go. Do it smart. Make yourself an exit strategy. Get your life as independent from the system as possible. Don't get doctors' insurance policies and doctor's appointments and medicines. Take care of yourself the best you can. Do not destroy your temple. And sign up with the best doctor there is, and that's Dr. God, Jehovah God, Yahweh. And realize that you didn't come here to live forever. You were born here to die. And these people could take you into the hospital and give you all kind of medicines and cut you open and do all kind of stuff to you, and hire people to take care of you and lie about it in computers and still get paid while they neglect their health and their family members' health. And it's all just a big revolving door. And every single bit of it has been done, and every lie that's ever been told, including the fact that the earth is a spinning ball, and many, many others. That you have a government that you elect, that school is there to teach you and help you get ahead, and the government is educating you because they love you, because you're entitled to a free education, a free and compulsory education. It's all done to control you. So that's pretty much it. Thank God. Amen.